Lost in the rhythm, between the lights and the sounds, can hear you breathing and feel the pulse in the ground. My heart is beating, no, you can't turn back anymore.
I'm Nick. I'm the drummer from the Swiss-German band AD Infinitum. I'm 29 years old, if that is of any interest. We're a band we've been around since 2018, 2019, and with our first album coming out in 2020, right in pandemic. And we've been a little productive since then. And now in October 2024, our fourth studio album is coming out called Abyss via Napalm Records, as the previous ones. We have a very good partnership with them. And yeah, we cannot wait to deliver this product to all of you people and share this piece of music with you, and then as well play it live, at least in Europe and the US. Unfortunately, not yet in Australia, but hopefully we will see you there one time.
Very good, brother. Thanks for joining us today. It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Likewise.
So you mentioned AD Infinitum releasing your album Abyss on October the 11th, mate. So can you tell us a bit more about the album musically and what you were going for with it?
I definitely can. First of all, I think the most important part about that album is that we kind of stepped away from the symphonic part of it. That was a huge part of our music for the first three albums. It was not an initial choice that we said, no, we want to do it anymore, and no, we don't want to do it anymore, and we do it like with an entire other production. We kind of said we don't want to have it just for the sake of having it. We just want to see where the music leads us. And it just happened that when we wrote the first songs in our song camp, we just realized that there is not really the need for orchestral elements, and we just happened to create soundscapes and nice atmospheres without those instruments. And there we said, okay, it would be maybe just too much and everything over the top to add now back the orchestral elements. It was not an initial choice that we step away from symphonic metal or something like that. It just happened in the writing process. This is the biggest musical part that kind of changed. On the other hand, I have to say that I have the feeling we kind of grew up a little bit. It's like when you continue writing music, you just change, and it feels like we think way more about every little part of a song than we did on the previous albums. I'm not saying that we didn't think at all about, the early music. I'm not saying that. It's like we're questioning more since this very album. We already did that with chapter 3 when we had this songwriting camp. I think this is also the biggest part why we're questioning that much, because we are all in the same room together writing songs, which wasn't the case for the chapter 1 and chapter 2 because of pandemics, and we were living so far apart. And I think this just led to the next steps.
Oh.
Yeah, this is the biggest part musically that kind of changed.
Yeah, very good. Now, today you release the singles Surrender, Outer Space, My Halo, and Unstoppable. So overall, are they a good sonic representation of what to expect from the whole album?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it's not that these three songs like say everything from the record, but it's a nice overview. But I can tell you, there are more ups and downs coming. That's not everything.
Now, you sort of touched on this before, but the press release calls it your most dynamic, modern, and progressive record to date. Right? Do you agree with that statement?
Most dynamic progressive record today could be. I don't know. Um, yeah. I mean, most modern, definitely. Most progressive. Yeah, could make sense as well. I think so. I think so. As I said earlier, I have the feeling that we spend much more time
Yeah.
thinking about every little piece in our music. It's just, yeah, it seems like we just put way more work in it. I don't know how that was even possible, but somehow we managed to do that.
Cool. Now, I read a quote from the band that said, Abyss marks a new era for Ad Infinitum. calling it a journey connecting 3 albums starting in the ominous darkness of Abyss. So does that mean that Abyss is the first part of a trilogy?
That's true.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. The trilogy we already had, like in the press kit, we have Abyss, we have Surface, and we have Elysium, which tells a little bit of a story, traveling from a dark place of mind, where you slowly reach the surface, you get better, you heal until you reach Elysium, which is like the final state of happiness. Um, it's important to mention that it's not like the previous 3 albums, connected to a historical figure or something like that. It's more personal experiences and feelings that we process here in these pieces of music and will process in the future as well.
Mhm. So what story does Abyss tell?
Um, it's more like, as I said, the state of mind is a very dark and depressing one.
Yeah.
It's a place of weakness, where you try to evolve from, and you evolve through these what you evolve, and you can see it like in the next albums that are there to come. So this is the worst state of mind.
Oh, yeah. So as you progress through the state of minds musically over the 3 albums, will that affect the musical direction, I guess, of the albums? Like, will this one be more dark because it's a dark state of mind, and then will they sort of move through as you go?
Yes and no. In the first place, yes, because when we started writing, of course, we had the concept before we started writing the music, and then you already enter the recording room with or the song camp with a certain weight on your shoulders. It's like, you get into this mood, you get into this feeling, but still we don't want to limit ourselves. It's not like we said, oh, we're writing this album about weakness and dark places. It's not that we limited ourselves when we went into the songwriting camp, that we said, oh, because this album is about weakness and the dark place of mind, in general, a dark spot in your head. Everything has to be bad and harsh and brutal and carry a certain vibe. Of course, kind of did, but we didn't want to limit ourselves there. So on the other hand, also when it comes, like, for example, to Surface, to the very happy, or let's say very calm and peaceful part, everything will not be la 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 and nice and fairy tales and blah blah blah. It generates a certain mood musically and lyrically. Though lyrically, this is a Melissa part. I hope I'm not stepping on her toes there. But it's not a entire entire, how do I say, this will be a brutal metalcore genre album, and this will be a pop album or something like that. Just creates the base, and then we let it flow.
Right. So with something like this, that is a trilogy over 3 albums, like, do you write all 3 of them at once and record them all at once, or do you focus on one at a time?
No, we focus on one at a time.
Right. And does that allow for it to breathe a bit more, I guess, between albums?
Exactly. And otherwise, we still want to tour in between albums. And if we would write 3 albums at once, I guess we would have to step down from touring for 2 years or something like that, and we don't want to do that.
Very true. Now, you sort of touched on this a bit before, but you've dropped a lot of the symphonic metal elements for this album. Is that something that's going to be the band moving forward from now, or is that just for this album?
Honestly, I don't know. As I mentioned earlier, it was not a decision we made in the first place, and we said we don't want to do that anymore and jump on from there. It just kind of happened. I can assume that we continue like this, but I don't want to be certain, because, for example, on the next record or the record after that, if there happens to be a great song where we all like, oh my God, there have to be orchestrals in there, and that very opening C part, that can absolutely happen, and no one knows. So I wouldn't limit ourselves there to say we're not doing symphonic anymore. I just can't tell. Whatever the music and the song will allow us.
That's fair enough. Now you're about to head out on tour with Camelot as well. So tell us about that run of shows.
Exactly. Yeah, we're starting in around about 2 weeks in Europe together with our friends in Blackbriar. We already toured with them in Europe, unfortunately, or Europe again for you guys. And Frozen Crown is in this package as well. It will be a great package, great venues for powerhouse bands, smashing every evening, and I think it will be great. I personally cannot wait to go back on tour.
I bet
It was the, the US tour in April, May. We were kind of nervous because at least me and the boys, because Melissa already had done US tours, but we didn't. So it was the first time, whatever. And it felt like a really, really great adventure. And then it was July, and then it was August. And then it was already like 3-4 months ago, and it was like, oh, when can we head out again? And now's the time.
Cool. And then in early 2025, you hit the road with Aluvity and Infected Rain. So that should be a lot of fun.
Exactly, it will be, especially since this tour kind of leads us to cities and countries where we haven't been yet, like Greece. I think we're playing in. Oh, I have to take a look. Sorry, I can't see it in my calendar. I can tell by head now. So it's usually you get in the nightliner and then you get out. Oh, I'm in this country. Cool. But it leads us to very different places that we haven't been before, and we haven't played our music yet. So this is a very, very great experience. And the second with Elevati, we had the pleasure to share some shows in 2023 summer. No, it was 2022. I think it was summer 2022. I think we opened 2 shows for them, and it was very nice. They're all such great people. Can't wait to see them again. And Infected Rain, I haven't met them yet. But when I was younger, in the city I grew up, there was like a poster of Infected Rain playing in the area close by, and I was, I don't know, 12 back then. So wow, that's cool.
That's so cool.
And I'm gonna tell them this story, definitely.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right, Nicholas. Well, thanks very much for your time, mate. Abyss is out October the 11th. So best of luck with it, mate. And hopefully we do see you on this side of the world sooner rather than later.
Lost in the rhythm between the lights and the sounds. Can hear you breathing and feel the pulse in the ground. My heart is beating. No, you can't turn back anymore. Chills down my spine, call me the devil. You can't blame me for your sins. The night of flames, this violet chemistry accelerated when everyone is watching. No, I don't really wanna go. Tell me I'm not a fool. What if we just let it